breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And right now, we are looking into an investigation on I-40. Troopers chase a driver across 2 counties at 100-mile-per-hour speeds. We're trying to get more information here on WRAL News.
In clear skies this morning, but then hotter this afternoon. Highs reach to around 100. I'll let you know when heat index values reach well over 100 degrees.
And this story here, this is the search for that suspect, spanning 2 different counties here at 100-mile-per-hour speeds. Where that investigation stands right now, we'll dive into it this morning on WRAL News. The other story we're talking about as well, some lanes are closed on an I-40 investigation. We'll dive into that this morning. But first, we want to say thanks for waking up with us dark and early here on WRAL News. I'm Chris Levingood. My friend Grant Skinner is checking out for us this morning how the weather is. It wasn't as bad today, muggy-wise, as I walked outside, Grant. But, right now, when we're talking about temperature-wise, it's only going up from here.
Yeah, so it's going to be hotter this afternoon. The good news is heat index values not right at heat advisory criteria, so we won't see intense heat quite yet. But as we get into Friday and Saturday, it will feel much hotter, so be prepared for that. We already have weather alert days in place for both days. We'll likely have heat advisories. All is quiet in Fenton and Cary this morning. Temperatures, again, are starting mild this morning in the 70s. We're at 74 in Raleigh. Some spots a bit cooler, like Roxborough at 64. Rocky Mount, you're at 72 degrees to start today. Temperatures running around 5 to 10 degrees warmer than yesterday morning, and it's going to be hotter this afternoon. Look at the high. We get to 100 degrees by 4 o'clock. Now, the good news is humidity levels aren't too high, but again, as that moisture increases, it'll feel much hotter. We'll let you know how hot it will feel the next couple of days, plus when better chances for showers and storms return. That's coming up.
All right, that's sounds Grant. We'll come back to you in a bit. Right now, Raleigh police have lanes closed on I-40 West near the Carytown Boulevard exit. What you're seeing right here, this is a live look from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. You can see these officers here investigating that scene. We are working to confirm what happened here and how long those lanes are going to be closed for. And firefighters in Cary responded to an early morning house fire here. Look at the damage. You see this? This happened on Holland Bend Drive near Morrisville Road. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was there around 4 this morning. A garage and a car inside, they were badly damaged. And the Cary fire chief says everyone was able to escape. No one was hurt. We're also trying to learn more about the person responsible for a high-speed chase overnight. And video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows where the chase ended near Old Cotton Gin Road in Sampson County. Highway Patrol says the chase started near NC 242 in Johnston County and speeds reached around 100 miles per hour. Troopers say the driver ran into the woods after this chase, but no word on any arrests. Some school districts here locally are making changes to their menus because of cyclospora. Durham Public Schools is taking fresh produce off the menu, at least until September. If your kids do get cyclospora, pediatricians say symptoms will show up similarly to how adults have them. Diarrhea is more common and dehydration can follow, but still the message remains the same. There is no need to rush to urgent care. You just need to monitor the symptoms and it'll likely be gone in a few days.
Other than lasting longer than those typical 3 days, really it's no different than any other diarrheal illness. And the vast majority of people, including children, will work through this on their own and are not going to spread it around the entire school just because of the way it is spread.
Well, we are waiting to hear back from other school districts, such as Wake County, on what steps they may take to keep students safe. Folks, count on WRAL to keep you up to date on everything you need to know about cyclospora. You can hear firsthand from local people who have experienced this illness, and you'll find in-depth discussions on what to look for so you can avoid getting sick. Again, it's on our YouTube channel. And later today, we'll get an update from Wake County about the number of cases in our area. So keep up to date with the WRAL News app and watch our evening newscast starting at 4 p.m. Family members have identified a 3-year-old girl who died after drowning at an apartment in Durham at a swimming pool. That girl is Paisley Lyons Wiles, right here on your screen. This happened around 8 p.m. Tuesday night at the Featherstone Village Apartments on Old Page Road. CPR was already in progress when first responders arrived, and Paisley later died at Duke University Hospital. We have reached out to Durham police to find out if they're investigating this and if Paisley was alone at the pool when she drowned. And today we'll get the results of a state investigation into Cary's town finances. State Auditor Dave Bullock is expected to reveal new details of his audit of the town. Former town manager Sean Stiegel was accused of mismanaging the town's money. Stiegel resigned back in December, and Bullock said in January the review flagged some charges as potentially fraudulent. An independent audit released in February also found weaknesses in the town's financial reporting systems. President Donald Trump says that ICE should continue to make traffic stops. In a post to Truth Social, the president said the agency, quote, cannot give up on what he called one of its, quote, most important and effective crime-fighting tools. Homeland Security says ICE leadership was surprised by the president's post. On Tuesday, ICE ordered officers to stop pursuing people in vehicles, and that was in response to 2 deadly shootings in less than a week's time. Looks like the reflecting pool in D.C. has been drained again. We have this video this morning showing you what it looks like now. Workers are preparing to fix the liner that was just installed as part of a multi-million-dollar renovation project. Well, you may recall soon after installation, algae appeared in the pool and portions of the liner appeared to be peeling off. President Trump blamed the damage on vandals, and 4 people have since been arrested. The family of a missing Fort Bragg soldier plans to come to North Carolina to help with search efforts here. Army Specialist Savion Anderson was last seen June 29th, and his family will meet at Veterans Park in Fayetteville on Sunday afternoon. Anderson was reported absent without leave on July 1st. WRAL spoke to his wife last week, and she says Anderson had been struggling with mental health issues, but she believes he is alive. There's a vigil that was held last night in Charlottesville, Virginia.
You already know. Come home, Mom. We're praying for you to come home, big dog. You know, in our prayers every day. Savion, there's a whole community here that's pulling for you. Just simply please come home.
Anyone who sees Anderson is asked to contact the Fort Bragg resident agency Army, and anonymous tips can be sent online as well. State employees and retirees will soon pay more for seeking care at Wake Med. We're hearing from the hospital system, which says the decision is, quote, extremely damaging. Wake Med told WRAL this will complicate the lives of thousands of state employees who rely on them for care. It also says the change will have serious financial consequences for Wake Med. State health plan members who use UNC providers will see a discount. Duke Health patients can expect prices to stay the same, though, and the new changes will go into effect by January. The city of Raleigh must pay developers $27 million after a class action lawsuit was upheld yesterday. The State Court of Appeals says the city improperly charged the developers impact fees to connect to water and sewers. The builders claim the city does not have the authority to charge a fee for future improvements to the system, and the courts agreed with this. Looks like smoke from Canadian wildfires is making its way down to us. I want to show you a look at tomorrow morning's smoke forecast. Here's the deal. While you may not be able to see the smoke in the sky, it can be felt, especially by those with breathing issues. Air pollution can trigger health issues, including asthma or COPD. But one doctor says that it can actually trigger cardiovascular events in groups that can be affected by the wildfire. We're talking about the smoke. This includes children with hard-to-control asthma, women who are pregnant, and people with pre-existing heart conditions.
Make sure your windows are closed, your air conditioning is on. HEPA filters do a reasonably good job as well. So if you have access to that, all those things should be you should be prepared with.
And he also says if you do have to go outside, try to make it as quick as possible. You could also wear N95 masks. Anyone experiencing shortness of breath or worsening symptoms should seek medical attention right away. Well, as you know, weight loss drugs are becoming more popular. Doctors say that telehealth companies advertising cheaper GLP-1s might not be the best choice. This morning on Today, a Wendell woman is sharing her story.
If a patient comes to you and telehealth is their only option for whatever reason, what are the precautions you urge them to follow?
I would say that making sure you're working with a place that's reputable, that there is a clear line of communication.
NBC's Ann Thompson has an in-depth report on this spike in overdoses. Plus, she also talks about the important guidance to safely navigate the world of online GLP-1s. And that's all coming up on Today. All right, the ACC kickoff in Charlotte is giving us a look ahead at the college football season, and today is the second day of this 3-day event. Yesterday, we spoke with players and coaches from NC State, including C.J. Bailey. The Wolfpack quarterback is one of 5 returning quarterbacks in the conference this year. Tomorrow, we'll hear from Duke and UNC players and coaches as well. The WRAL sports team is hanging out in Charlotte throughout the ACC kickoff. You can watch for our full coverage of all the conference big stories throughout the day. Well, today we're going to learn the full 84-game schedule for the upcoming Carolina Hurricane season. We already know the first game. The Canes will open the season on Tuesday, September 29th, when they host the Florida Panthers. It'll be a special night at Lenovo Center because the team is raising its 2026 Stanley Cup championship banner. The full schedule is expected to release at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Time on the clock is 4:39. We're talking about clean water accountability. North Carolina's Attorney General is not satisfied with the settlement over forever chemicals. Hear why he says $450 million is not enough to clean the pollutants. We're also talking about hiring law enforcement, as officers facing criminal charges are resigning only to get hired somewhere else. WRAL Investigates takes a closer look at the vetting process.
And dew points are already in the 60s and 70s this morning, but will be even more humid the next couple of days. I'll let you know how hot it will feel this afternoon and how much hotter will it be both Friday and Saturday, and when better rain chances arrive. All that's coming up. It's 4:43 on this Thursday morning. A quick update in the tropics, because we're now watching a couple of areas in the tropics. The first one is in the northeastern Gulf. This will slowly work its way towards parts of the southeastern coastline along the coast of Georgia and South Carolina. An area of low pressure is expected to form here. So regardless of if this has tropical characteristics, it will definitely bring some heavy rainfall to parts of Florida and parts of the southeastern coast. Especially through next week, you can see a good bit of rainfall on the west side of Florida, then eventually moving up the coast and bringing some rainfall to eastern North Carolina. So some much needed rain. Also, this is a low chance of formation. This likely will move into some unfavorable conditions in the coming days. We'll talk more about those rain chances the next 7 days coming up.
Well, the Coast Guard is suspending its search for 3 people who are missing after a boat capsized in the San Francisco Bay. The 50-foot cabin cruiser sank near Alcatraz Island on Tuesday, and about 20 people were aboard. They were a part of a memorial service when a wave slammed into this vessel. One man's body was recovered, and 3 other people were treated at a hospital. A dog also died. The state attorney general wants a federal judge to reject the government's settlement with Chemours over PFAS, or forever chemicals. Yesterday, the state filed formal comments opposing the proposed deal. The federal government says the settlement is worth at least $450 million, but North Carolina says only a fraction of that would directly benefit the state, where chemical pollution from Chemours' Fayetteville Works plant contaminated drinking water for decades.
The EPA sold us out completely. We have this huge issue. All of this water was polluted. It's drinking water for almost 500,000 people in our state. The EPA could have gone to bat for North Carolina, and they failed. But a judge has to sign off on whether or not to accept the EPA's deal.
And Jackson says he will continue pursuing a separate case against Chemours to make the company clean up groundwater contamination and pay for the damage instead of leaving those costs to taxpayers and utility customers. So officers facing criminal charges are resigning only to get hired elsewhere. WRAL Investigates' Megan Cloherty has a preview of her investigation into the hiring process and where it can break down. This is airing tonight on WRAL News at 6.
A number of former officers are facing charges for breaking the law. They took an oath to protect and serve, and they worked their way from a larger city or county department down to a smaller one. Most of them resigned from the larger department while under investigation, and that's allowed for officers in North Carolina. The reason for an investigation is not public record. However, the small department that eventually hired them could find that information out. Sources tell WRAL the reason small departments end up with the bad apples of law enforcement comes down to 3 things. One being a lack of training in background checks. Jeff Welty, UNC public law professor and a member of the Criminal Justice Education and Training Standards Commission, stresses the information may be available, but departments may not know whether an officer's previous investigation should be made available to the hiring department.
And that's one of the areas of slippage where everybody's trying to comply with the law, but what one agency wants or thinks it might be getting may not always be exactly what the other agency thinks it's required to produce.
Coming up tonight at 6:15, we'll share the other 2 points that law enforcement sources say create this issue. You'll hear more on the backstories of those officers and hear from the Nash County Sheriff on how he says lawmakers can fix this problematic pattern. That's tonight at 6:15. Megan Cloherty, WRAL Investigates.
Okay, let's swing into your weather forecast right now. We've got Grant Skinner looking at the next best chance for rain for us right now. Still got this long stretch of, I thought you keep saying that, oh, it's this hot weather. It's going to be like this for a while. This is summer. We're in North Carolina.
Right, but temperatures will get a little bit more intensely hot into our Friday and Saturday. So already have weather alert days for both days. We'll see heat advisories likely by Friday and likely another one on Saturday as well. Fortunately, temperatures will finally cool off and we'll have some better chances for rain by Sunday. But even today it's going to be hot. Highs jump to around 100 degrees, so be prepared for that. All is quiet right now, though, from Raleigh. We have clear skies this morning. Temperatures are starting mild once again in the low to mid 70s. We have some spots in the 60s this morning. 69 in South Hill, 64 in Roxborough, 74 in Raleigh. It's 76 in Fayetteville. And by this afternoon, we jump to 100 degrees in Raleigh, 100 in Lillington, 100 in Fayetteville, 98 Goldsboro, 96 in Conway. All these heat index values are just below the heat advisory criteria, so it'll feel hot, just not as intensely hot as some of those days we've had over the past few weeks. So be prepared for it. It's still going to be pretty hot this afternoon. As our next cold front approaches, we'll see humidity increase into the first half of the coming weekend, so that'll allow for it to feel even hotter the next couple of days. Our better chances for showers and storms really don't arrive by Sunday into the start of next week. Before that, it'll just be chances for isolated storms into Friday and Saturday. So we'll leave some small rain chances the next couple of days. Highs still in the mid to upper 90s by Saturday, some spots close to 100. We finally drop into the mid 90s for more spots by Sunday. And rain chances stick around through the start of next week. Rain chances stick around for really all the way through the middle of next week, with some isolated storms still possible. The best rain chances and the best rainfall totals likely in our eastern spots, and we'll talk more about that in our next half hour. But again, a weather alert day into our Friday and Saturday as we see intense heat across the area. So not today, but Friday and Saturday, and that heat will stick around to the start of next week.
100 in school? That's awesome. 100 in temperatures? Yeah. Thanks, Grant. Okay, I Play Rocky, a new biopic, will show the creation of Sylvester Stallone's breakout role. We'll talk about the underdog story and that's behind the iconic film. Let's get you caught up on that breaking news we've been following as Raleigh police have lanes closed on I-40 West near the Carytown Boulevard exit. This is where we find WRAL's Ali Kadlabar. She arrived minutes ago. So, Ali, can you kind of show me what you're seeing right now and what you've learned since you've arrived?
Yeah, we are seeing forensics is on the scene. We're also seeing that 2 lanes here are blocked. This is I-40 West near the Carytown Boulevard exit. We can see 2 lanes are blocked for a little bit of a stretch. We see forensics are investigating. Now, this happened around 2:30 this morning. We are working to confirm if somebody was hit, but we have seen police around a sheet lying in the road, and so we have reached out to Raleigh police to get more information and confirm this information. Of course, we are keeping you updated throughout the morning. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
We'll see Ali again in about the next 10 minutes. Well, we are getting the story behind Rocky, and movie royalty is recognized. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
There's something big here.
You wrote this in 3.5 days.
This is freaking good.
Touch someone like Chuck Bronson, or we could do Eastwood.
Guys, I Play Rocky.
Sylvester Stallone's real-life $1 million to 1 shot to make his career-defining film comes to the big screen in I Play Rocky. Anthony Ippolito plays Stallone in the underdog story about the underdog Oscar-winning movie. I Play Rocky opens in theaters in November.
No one will take their Blu-rays away. They'll still have those films.
Double duty for Danny McBride. He's now set to direct as well as write the next G.I. Joe movie for Paramount. It'll be McBride's feature directorial debut.
The whole concept of narrative art has been forgotten.
Not quite. George Lucas has been honored in Paris as a Knight of the Legion of Honor. Also receiving that honor in a ceremony at the Élysée Palace, veteran actress Sigourney Weaver, 2-time Academy Award winner Jodie Foster, and Illumination founder Chris Meledandri, the producer of the Despicable Me and Minions movies. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
A major victory for the world's most endangered wolves. 4 new litters of red wolf pups have been born in eastern North Carolina, with up to 16 surviving their first few critical months. 1 litter was born on a private land, while a new $31 million federal grant will build highway crossings to protect the wolves and other wild animals from cars. There are only 22 known red wolf adults left in the wild. Cumberland County is celebrating one of its students. Abigail Dries was crowned Miss High School America 2026. She is a rising senior at Grace Creek High School. She received more than $100,000 in money and prizes, including a scholarship to High Point University. Congrats to her. This morning, we are talking about preventing cyclospora infections. Raleigh Restaurant Week kicks off today, and we're going to talk about the efforts to keep diners safe. And cooling stations open. Wake County is offering a place to get out of the heat. For locations that are open to provide air conditioning. And those cooling stations will be much needed as we get a live look out at Rocky Mount Mills this morning. We got meteorologist Grant Skinner walking us through the highs that are expected to reach the triple digits today.